Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303, episode 308, or 309. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. This is my co-host. As always, we have with us the executive producers, the EP, and Nutty Putty. On today's episode, we'll get into a blind five and the NHL playoffs. Without further ado, how are you doing this evening, Nevada?
I'm doing fantastic. Got some great news today for those of you who have been living under a rock or just don't pay attention to the hockey world. Gabriel Landeskog has risen. He's back on the roster for playoffs. We're ready. Let's go.
This is it. He's the person who keeps Nichushkin clean.
Dude, no joke. we can get into that later, but no joke.
How you doing this evening, Eric?
Good, man. We're talking about playoffs, and none of my teams are going to make it, so this will be a relatively calm episode for me. You guys won't hear my usual bloviating, but whatever. It is what it is. Happy to be here. Happy to be back.
We call that stress-free in the biz.
Yeah, it is stress-free. I'll say that it is stress-free.
Oh boy. One day the Blackhawks will make it. But in the meantime, we're playing great hockey right now, and Connor Bedard scored today, so we're good. We all can't be Avalanche fans, you know?
Yeah.
True that.
What?
But yeah, I mean, there's room on the bandwagon if you guys want on.
I only root for teams with top 5 players.
Gotcha. All right.
I've decided to be a Red Wings fan.
All right. Well, I mean, we don't need to go below the belt here.
Mine's a good old-fashioned rib. Yours is just hurtful, Eric.
Yeah, that was just mean, Eric.
I take it back. I'll be a Dallas Stars fan.
Oh, amazing work. Amazing work.
I remember that, Eric.
Oh, they got their boy first round, bro. They got their boy first round. How you gonna greet Nico?
Oh, he's getting booed. He already got his one homecoming game. Was that like a week-ish after he got traded to Dallas? So, he already got his video tribute. His applause. Hey, we appreciate the memories. But now, nope. That was it.
You're the enemy.
Yep.
Get fucked.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome that that they look. The setup is kind of dumb because you guys are two of the better teams, but it's awesome that we get you first round pretty much every year, dude.
Yeah.
You had to play an absolute barn burner of a first matchup. That's crazy, dude.
It's gonna be nasty.
It's gonna be diabolical. It's gonna be on par with like a cup final. That's how good those two teams are, and we're seeing it first round.
Right. First day of playoffs. That'll be on. Very first day of playoffs.
Just casually
Yeah.
on. All right, before we get too far into the NHL, I could talk about it all day long. Let's get into this blind five, Nevada. What do you got for us?
Let's do it. All right. Make a note real quick and pull that one up. So we got 1, 2, or 3.
2.
2. All right. First up is Lion King.
Lion King. Which one? Like the original? Like the OG killing?
No.
Oh, so live action. Still pretty fire. Right? You're talking about the live action, the 2020 or 2019 or whatever that one was.
Correct. The follow-up.
I'm afraid that it's going to be all these Disney remake movies, Eric. What are we going here? 2, 3?
I didn't see it. 3?
3. All right, we'll hedge. Hit a 3.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't see it either. The remake. I didn't want to spoil the OG-ness of the one that we grew up on.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't need a. Anyways.
Next up is Mulan.
Also live action. Right? I'm going 4.
There's a live action Mulan?
Yeah. Actually, if I get the other ones, those are going down there. We can go.
Who played Mulan?
We could go to an Asian lady.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't repurpose that actor. They still went with the Asian route. Next up is going.
Sorry, Nevada. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Liu Yifi. Liu Yifi.
Okay, cool.
I don't know how to say that, boys.
All right. Next up is Pinocchio.
Didn't even know they made a live action of that.
With Tom Hanks, Eric.
I don't think I watched that one.
You got mad about that one.
Maybe because he's a pedophile. 5 or let's go 4 just in case he throws that Rachel Ziegler or whatever her name is.
It's gonna be on this list. 5 is left open intentionally. Bro.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Little Mermaid.
Oh, fuck, I didn't see that one either.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put that Snow White movie number 1, dude. Just kidding. We'll go number 1 with Little
Yeah,
Mermaid.
let's put Mermaid number 1 just in case. Even if it's not Snow White, it's the just in case.
Move on.
But
yeah,
wasn't there an uproar about the Little Mermaid one too? Like, didn't they make her a black girl too?
Yeah,
I think pretty much all of them have
were
had some sort
that.
of controversy. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then at number 5, number 5, you guys have Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping
Who's
Beauty
in that one
with Kirsten Stewart.
I don't know, whoever's in this one that just came out like 2 weeks ago.
You mean Snow White?
Was it Snow White?
Yeah. Yeah, with Rachel Zegler. We could definitely put that one at 6.
Yeah, Snow White's the one that just came out, big fella.
And it's I didn't even see the
okay.
movie, but just
The one that bombed.
Oh, for some reason I had Sleeping Beauty in my mind. But yeah, Snow White. That's same.
Minecraft made more on its opening Friday night than Snow White did in the whole opening weekend. That's crazy work.
Yeah, like all like the reporting coming out of it is so bad, dude. Like this.
That's how much people love Jason Momoa.
What? Why are we? What does Jason Momoa have to do with it?
Isn't he in Minecraft?
Oh yeah, he is.
I'm saying people bought tickets to go see him.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
But honestly, it's just Minecraft. It's
Minecraft.
Everybody plays that game, dude.
It looks fun.
Yeah, until people start destroying theaters. Have you seen the trend? There's like this little pigeon or something that is in the game that's very popular, and whenever he comes on the screen, people like start throwing shit and screaming. And have you guys seen that?
No,
I heard about it, but I didn't look into it because I frankly don't care.
Yeah, I don't even know what character it is, but yeah, apparently when he comes on the screen, people go ape shit.
That's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys kind of hit the topic. It was originally Disney remakes. They just also happen to be all live action remakes as well.
And movies with controversy.
Yeah, and some level of controversy, sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was just live action remakes. Yeah, Lion King should have been number 1. Lion King was actually it was all right.
Is that the one where Beyonce sang the song?
Beyonce was in that one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem is just like we don't need those.
You have the cartoon version already.
Yeah, we don't need just remaster them. Make the
And
cartoon ones look cooler, and then
kids love that
sell it
shit.
to us again. You know what I mean? And sell it to us again.
People will buy it.
Yeah.
Like, dog, what are you doing? Like, and you'd save so much more money, dude.
In this era where nostalgia is so big, if you just remastered the soundtracks and stuff like that, everybody would buy it all over again.
Throw
Guaranteed.
in 13 minutes of deleted scenes, and I bet that shit will just fly off the shelves.
Release a new banger from Elton John. I guarantee you he'd have no problem doing another song for that movie.
Damn, Snow White could be the third movie to not make 200 million.
Does it say how much it costs
of the
to make?
remakes or of Disney, or what's the criteria?
Of the Disney movies, yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, the actress they picked, man, they went and found literally the person that the world hates the most right now.
That she unified the world in hate against her.
And our hate for her, we are all unified.
Anytime someone could do that, that's true WWE level heel work, and we need to get that girl in the ring because people will pay money to go watch her be a bitch to people.
What was her name again?
Rachel Zegler.
So I don't
She's
even know.
Black and Jewish.
I don't know what she did, but I just know that everyone hates her. Also, she's Colombian, isn't she?
So she's a mix of something, but what she did, from how I understood it, it all started with her casting in Star Wars and the way that she was speaking about the Star Wars world. And you know how Star Wars fans are. First of all, like, you don't disrespect Star Wars. So, you know, she called Star Wars gay. She said it's good that they have a female writer who's writing gay parts and blah, blah, blah. And like, she made some comments that didn't really sit well with Star Wars fans. And then she just doubled down and turned into an absolute, like, bitch the whole time, dude. Like, she's just very self-centered, very, like, you know, the world revolves around me. And yeah, she's just not a likable person in general, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a couple of notes. Looks like she's spoken out against colorism. And
We're just
one of
making
the
shit up
quotes
at this
is,
point.
"I'm a white Latina." I didn't know colorism was a thing, but okay. She's publicly supported Palestine since 2021 and is not a fan of Trump. So if that's enough for you to get an idea, fine. But colorism.
Yeah.
I didn't realize colorism was a thing. What the hell is colorism?
So I didn't know that was a thing, but neither of those things really seem like a reason to dislike her. But she has gone out of her way to make sure that nobody likes her. So I believe like why everyone's upset. I just have no clue. It's pretty funny.
So colorism is discrimination based on skin tone.
So racism.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I guess it's not race based, it's color based. Okay. So colorism. Okay.
All right. Well, enough of that. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole.
It says her mother is Colombian and her father is Polish.
Yeah, it says she was born in Jersey. It's quite the.
So apparently, when she was being casted for West Side Story, they didn't believe she was Latina. So in her quote, she said, "They kept calling to ask if I was legit," and she's like, "I responded, do you want me to bring my abuelita in?" Like, they just want to make sure they're casting authentic roles. Like, don't be all sensitive.
Oh, this was the casting agent that said that?
No, her.
No. Who was asking if she was Latin?
The people trying to cast West Side. They were casting her for Maria in West Side Story.
Okay, but also her response wasn't that bitchy either. Like in a vacuum, I'm sure it's a stacked number of events to get her to this precipice, right? But again, that one is just like, yeah, do you want me to bring my grandma in?
She put people are easily confused because I don't have a single ounce of Latin in my name.
I mean, I can think of a dozen other actors who got a lot more shit to deal with. That
Orlando Bloom played a Middle Eastern dude. Like, what are we doing?
No, Christian Bale was an Egyptian pharaoh, wasn't he?
Yeah, Like Gerard Butler played. Who was what was it?
300.
Yeah, like come on, dude. Like
I think we can all
let's just move on from this.
we can all agree nobody's going to be RDJ in Tropic Thunder. Like you just can't cross race perfection like he can. So we'll just have to leave it at that. Everybody else is going to be just ain't going to cut it.
Yeah, and so I'm looking at the two movies that grossed less than 200, which Snow White is now in danger of it.
Give us a hint.
It was released in 2020, and we may or may not not have talked about it today.
Tenet today.
No, this is Disney's.
Yeah.
Disney movies, Eric. Tenet's not Disney.
Was it
Pinocchio?
Mulan?
I think Mulan did it.
It's Mulan. Mulan was released. It was released during COVID, though. So
COVID. You can't. We don't blame her. We love Asians in America. It's not her fault.
What are we doing, Eric?
We don't like Colombian Polish chicks. That I know for a fact.
They do not. They're not big fans of her. I'm gonna have to look into this some more.
Yeah.
But Christopher Robin was the first live action adaptation to bank less than 200. However, barely fell short and likely profited or broke even with earnings of $197.7 million against a budget of $70 million. Oh, that's not bad.
No, that's not too bad.
I mean, that profited money.
And it wasn't released in China.
And it wasn't?
No. So they lost all that international money there because China is the second biggest market.
Yeah.
I think the Snow White movie might pull off the 200 million though, because it's at 187 right now.
Yeah, it'll trickle in an extra 13.
I think I could get 13. Although it said Snow White's week 4 earnings could drop as low as 2.8 million.
Well.
I'm rooting for you. Best of luck, movie.
Damn. All right.
Best of luck. All right, let's get into this NHL playoff bracket. You want to take us through it, Nevada?
Yes, I will pull it back up. I had it. So right now the seeds for the most part are set with the exception of wild cards for both the East and the West. The East has one spot open left. It'll most likely go to Montreal. They just need a point in their game, or they need Columbus to lose a game or just not get 2 points in their final 2 games. Same thing pretty much applies on the West. Minnesota Wild, and St. Louis Blues also essentially just need a point in their final game or have Calgary not get 2 points in both of their final 2 games. So Columbus and Calgary are still technically in it, but they need a lot of help. As far as the bracket goes, just real quick breakdown so you have an overview. In the West, it looks like it's going to be Vegas, Minnesota, the Kings, and Oilers for the 4th straight year in the first round. The Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues, the Dallas Stars, and the Avs. And then in the East, you have the Battle of Ontario, the Maple Leafs against the Senators, the Battle of Florida, Tampa against Florida. You got the Caps, who will likely play the Canadiens, and then the Hurricanes will play against the New Jersey Devils.
Okay, Canadians versus Devils. Dang.
Yeah, I think if the playoffs started today, which all these seeds could get locked in here in a couple hours. But that's what it's looking like right now.
Oh, today's the 15th. This is from yesterday. I was like, why does it have the Canadians versus Capitals on this bracket? I'm trying to find a bracket so I have it to visually look at.
Yeah, there's one on NHL.com.
All right. Let me go to
that. Was just posted 6 hours ago, so that's the most up-to-date one.
I understand NHL. Let's see where's that.
So, with that said, as boys pull up their black bracket to get a nice visual representation, we'll start off in the East. And we'll start with a series we know that is happening for sure. The Devils playing against the Hurricanes. Season series locked up at 2-2. However, and we'll get into this here in a second, both of New Jersey's wins came before Jack Hughes got injured. Something of note, in every single of the games, the loser only scored twice, and the puck line was covered every single game in all 4 games. That being said, the last game between the two of them was last year, December 28th. So it's been a minute since both teams have seen each other. Just some notes for the respective teams. The Devils, I think we had higher hopes for the Devils. At least I did going into the year. I picked them as a kind of a dark horse for the President's Trophy for the most points in the league. But injuries and just maybe a little lack of cohesion kind of derailed them a bit. Like I said, the biggest problem that New Jersey's going to run into is they don't have their superstar Jack Hughes, who's been done with a shoulder injury for about a month now. So he won't be back till training camp for next year. And then their goalie, Jacob Markstrom, he's done well at times. He's had some hiccups here and there. He was injured for about a month or so. And he's back. He's kind of trying to find his way, but, he's getting there. But that's one of the issues that New Jersey's going to run into is they just don't have their superstar that they needed in Jack Hughes to really take them. They have some good depth pieces, guys like Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Andre Palat, Holla, Tomas Tatar, Timo Meier, stuff like that. But again, not a true superstar like Jack Hughes is. So I think they could still be dangerous, but unfortunately they're running into the Hurricanes, who, after trading Mikko Rantanen, after their 10-day rental of Mikko, have become a better team and flipped a switch.
After they traded him?
Yep. So after they traded him, it was probably like a week or so. They were kind of a little bit in limbo, and then all of a sudden they just I don't know what it was, if they just woke up and they realized, hey, this is the team we got, and they just became bullies and just railroaded over every single team that they played. They're tough as usual. That's like a Rod Brindamore kind of staple. He's good with that. They actually have healthy goaltending going into playoffs, so that was always something that they had issues with going into the season and playing. They're kind of like the Devils in that consistently, year after year, they do not have a superstar. The last 2 years, they have tried to trade for said superstars in Jake Gensel and Mikko Rantanen. Both of them has said, no thanks, we don't want to be here. So that continues to be the issue for the Hurricanes. Something of note, kind of an X factor. They did sign their top prospect, Alexander Nikishin, who has been dubbed the Russian Makar. That's how good people think he can be.
Yeah, he ain't even done nothing.
I know. Time will tell, but he put up good numbers in the Russian Hockey League, the KHL. But obviously jumping in playoffs is a little bit different. But that's kind of the ceiling they see for him. So it's interesting to see what kind of gameplay he has and time on ice, because their defense is pretty good. They play team defense, so it'll be interesting to see how much Brindamore trusts him. But any thoughts for this series from either of you?
No, so Carolina trips me out because they ended up winning 100 points, or not 99 points, almost 100. they just knew that Mikko wasn't it. That's amazing. That's amazing. So Jack Hughes, you mentioned it already, but it's out for the season then, so he's not returning at any time during the playoffs.
Correct. He had shoulder surgery.
I remember him. Damn, he's been hurt since basically the Four Nations.
Yeah, it was against the
Four Nations.
He did. He was on the first line. didn't do a whole lot. He had a couple points here and there, but he didn't pop off like you would hope for. But yeah, went into the boards, sliding on the ice into the end boards. I believe shoulder first, like kind of head, shoulder first. That was that. Done for the year.
Yeah, the Devils don't really stand a chance then.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Carolina, surprisingly, still a very good team after those two very weird trades. That's amazing that they almost had 100 points and they had that whole trade saga.
Yeah,
like,
just a massive a month.
I'll take the Hurricanes 4-2.
Yep, I'm with Jermaine. Something like that, 4-2, 4-1. Unless Markstrom stands on his head, because I think he is the better goaltender in the series. But from team top to bottom, the Hurricanes are just so deep, so good.
I want the Devils to be good, but they keep letting me down, dude.
Yeah. one of these years, maybe they'll pull it together.
Yeah, head not heart. I'm betting with the head not heart.
Moving on, we got again the likely Montreal Canadiens going to visit the Washington Capitals. The Capitals lead the series 2-1. However, all games have been within a goal or two, so it's a pretty even series overall. A couple notes for the Canadiens. I think they might be a year. I don't think 2 years, but probably just a year early to make the playoffs. But they definitely deserve it. They've played their bag off to get to where they needed to be. They play very good for Martin St. Louis, their head coach. They have had surprising goal play from Sam Montembeault, who was kind of just like a throw-in goalie. We'll kind of see what happens, but he's actually played very well. Won me some nice bets here and there. Kind of a sneaky goalie. So, and they also just brought over Ivan Demidov from the KHL as well. Got 2 points, one of which was a goal. Let's see, I think that was last night. Was that last night against the Blackhawks?
Yeah, he scored last night. Yeah,
so that's a big boost of offense. But again, you're asking another Russian to come over and play playoff hockey. That's remains to be seen how that plays out. But Canadians are not going to be a walk in the park by any means. Flipping over the Capitals, obviously the Ovechkin goal chase is over because he passed Wayne Gretzky last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it is now. So there's no quote unquote distraction. Not to say it was ever a distraction. That being said, the Capitals might be the biggest surprise of the entire league as far as how well they've played. Their rookie head coach, or I guess first-year head coach, Carberry, could very well be the coach of the year. He coached very well, got this team that I don't think I had them in the playoffs, and they're first in the East. So that's quite the swing of play. They've got really good goaltending in Logan Thompson. He's been awesome for them. This year, he put up a 2.49 goals against and a 910 save percentage, and he's very reliable. It'll be interesting to see how much their stud rookie Ryan Leonard contributes. He's played about 5 games or so far for them in the regular season. He's looked pretty good for the most part. I'm not sure if he's going to get a whole lot of point production, but he has been really good coming up from Boston University. I think it was BU, not BC. So I think this will be a fun series. I'll still go with the Capitals. I'll give the edge for goaltending to the Capitals, but I think this is going to be a better series than what it kind of reads on paper as far as like Canadians versus the top team in the East.
Yeah, so I had Washington finishing 7th, and you had 7th as well. So, we were right on it with our predictions.
Yeah, they just crushing it. But, yeah, they kind of like last year. I think that was one point we put out at the beginning of the year is that last year they kind of overplayed and relied on their goalie from last year. His name is spacing me right now. And then Logan Thompson comes in and he plays better, as good, if not better, than the goalie they had last year. I mean, he's put up really quality numbers. So I think Washington can at least get past this first round here against the Canadiens.
Yeah, first of all, I thought Washington made good moves in the offseason. I just didn't think they made 109 points worth of moves. Like, it's crazy what they actually pulled off this year. I don't know. Maybe they got swept up in the greatness of Ovechkin, so everyone was playing just out of their minds. But I think the Capitals have a chance to make a pretty deep run in this postseason. So I think they can get this sweep. I think they can get this sweep, and each game is close. So I'm gonna go Capitals sweep. Bring out those brooms, bro. I'm high on the Capitals. I like what the Capitals did this year.
Yeah, I'll go Caps in 6. I think each team. I think they'll both of them will steal home ice from each other at some point.
Also, I'm just hating on the Canadiens because they got the guy I wanted.
Yeah,
get out of here, you stupid Canadiens. I was told take the demon.
Well, so real quick side note that D-Man, they took him second, correct?
Right, yeah.
Chicago was trying to move back up to 4 to take Demidov.
I know. That's what we should have just taken Demidov and then moved up to get the demon.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some. Moving on. Another one that is guaranteed. The Battle of Florida, Tampa Bay Lightning against the Florida Panthers, the reigning Stanley Cup champions. This season series was about as damn near as a coin flip as you could get. Florida led 2-1. However, the goals for Florida was 7. Goals against was 6. So you don't get much closer than that. As far as Tampa's concerned, they look like they've returned to their Cup glory days from the late 10s, early 2020s. Andre Vasilevsky in net has returned to form as the best goaltender in the league. His numbers prove that his goals against is a 2.2 average and a save percentage of 92.1%. As usual, you got a core of guys that are driving the team. Nikita Kucherov, who's the silent leader of points every single year. Braden Point, Jake Gensel, Victor Hedman on the back end. I don't see anything that they miss Stamkos.
No, furthest from it, and it pisses me off. I'm sick of Tampa Bay being good, dude.
Yeah. John Cooper's a hell of a head coach. He's kind of rubs people the wrong way because just of his personality, but dude can coach a hockey team, I'll tell you that much. They did rekindle some old friendships, bringing back Yanni Gord as a depth piece, and brought in Bjorkstrand from, I'm pretty sure he was with Seattle at the time. So they got more depth that they typically had during their Cup years. So this Tampa team is very dangerous. They probably will give up a game here or there where they look bad and get just absolutely run out of the gym. But if it's one thing about this team is that they know how to play in the playoffs, and it's the core. I mean, you got the 3 forwards, Victor Hedman on the back end, and then arguably the best goalie in the world. That's not a bad recipe to go into the playoffs.
God damn it. I know. I'm about to pick Tampa Bay to get the upset of the defending champs.
Yeah. And then moving over to Florida, it was brought up last year. Here we are again, 3 years in a row. Is there going to be any Stanley Cup fatigue? There was a little bit in the season, just some injuries. Obviously, Matthew Tkachuk left during the Four Nations with an injury. He is slated to be back for Game 1, no problem. However, Florida is the team that everybody saw last year, and they're deeper. They got Brad Marchand from Boston, who's the king of the Rats. You put them on a team that is full of rats, it's going to be a bruiser of a team. I think the question for them is on the back end, is Seth Jones going to be able to replace what was lost from losing Brandon Montour, Lomberg, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, those kind of guys? That's a fair amount of production that they're hoping Seth Jones can replace. Time will tell with that. I'm not sure if he will for the playoffs or not. And then obviously their goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, Bob, has put in another solid year. It wasn't great by any means, but it was good, solid stuff, nothing crazy. So if you enjoyed what you saw last year with Florida, you're probably going to get more of the exact same with Florida.
I don't know, man. I think I'm kind of out on this Florida Panthers team. They just don't seem to have the same je ne sais quoi as last year.
I was literally going to say je ne sais quoi.
And I think they could get got. They're facing a very game veteran. Like, they ain't going to get frazzled. And usually Florida has the edge in net. Usually. But, like, they don't have the edge in net right now. And how much are they going to get out of Kachuk? And it's the goddamn light. They're going to do it again, dude. They're going to go on. They're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Or, Eastern. I almost said Western. I'm going Lightning, man. It's 7-game series, though. Florida's going to be turned for about two weeks and 2 days, but they're going to have a blast with this one. 7-game series.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of those series that better go 7 just to watch it 7 times.
Yeah. I want 7. Yeah.
If that's the case, I don't have the stat in front of me, but there's some stupid stat where like Vasilevsky in Game 7s is like 6-1 or something like that. He absolutely shuts the door. Like he's got, I know it's less than a 2 goals against average in Game 7s, like a 930, 940 save percentage. So if it gets there, yeah, Tampa.
That's so crazy. He just turns up for Game 7s.
Right.
God, I hate that this team is still a thing, dude. The Blackhawks have been bad for so long. The Lightning still exist.
Yeah.
Chaps my ass, dude.
Yeah. I'll go with the Lightning as well. I think Tampa, after the last couple of years where they've had a little bit of a downturn in the playoffs, I think now that they feel like they're back to where they should be, I think I've been wrong before, but I think maybe the Cup fatigue will finally hit Florida.
It's a lot of hockey. They played a lot of hockey. And that 4 Nations, like.
Yep. So, yeah, I'll go with Tampa in this one, but I would not be surprised one bit if Florida ekes it out as well. But I'll go with the premier playoff experience with Tampa.
It's crazy to say as they're the defending champs.
Yeah. And then our final series in the East, perhaps the podcast's favorite team to make fun of anyway. The Ottawa Senators go to Toronto to play the Toronto Maple Leafs for the Battle of Ontario. Unfortunately for the Leafs, the Senators own this series this year. The Senators are 3-0, 9 goals for, 3 against in 3 games. The Leafs have scored a grand total of 3 goals in 3 games total. For Ottawa.
Correction, that's 9 goals forwarded, Nevada.
Yes, you're right, Eric. Thank you. Thank you for the stat correction. 9 goals forwarded to their win column. For Ottawa, they finally did something. For years, they've been in hockey purgatory, much like what Buffalo is right now, or has been for 20 years. They shipped out a couple guys. They brought in Dylan Cousins from Buffalo, put a little extra juice on their offensive side. I think the biggest turning point for them was they finally got a goalie in Linus Ullmark, who comes over from Boston. and he's played well for a team that's frankly pretty shaky defensively. But Ullmark has put up good numbers. He's got a 2.67 goals against and a 9.11 save percentage. So, all these goalies stats that I'm giving you is good goalies want to be around that 2.5, 2.6 kind of tops, and 9.10 is a really good save percentage. If you can get up higher than that, you're doing awesome. You're keeping your team in every single game. So, congrats to Ottawa. They're finally in the playoffs. The other Tkachuk brother, Brady Tkachuk, finally gets a taste of playoff hockey. We'll see what he does, if he can emulate his brother and be the beast that he is. Bring in some four-nation magic to Ottawa, perhaps. And they got a good matchup against the Leafs, because the Leafs in the playoffs are the world's oldest nemesis, especially the first round. They've won one first round, and God, what was the stat we always had? It was since
91 or something.
It was something terrible.
It was a crazy amount of time. It was not good.
Yeah. So there are some. I'll show you some weird stats here in a little bit. However, some actual looking at the team items. Their goaltending, Stolars and Joseph Wall, have done really well. Both of them were at one point in the season regarded as the number one goalie for the team. Joseph Wall and Stolars have both had some injury issues, so it's a little bit of, if you have two number ones, do you have a number one? Kind of like if you have two quarterbacks, do you have a quarterback? That'll remain to be seen, because unfortunately, you kind of get in the argument of like, well, if somebody has a bad game, you can put it in the other guy. With goalies, that can really fuck with their mental status, so you got to be careful and balance that. Joseph Wall did good. It's a little bit under what you expect. He had a 2.76 goals against, and he had a 9.07 save percentage, which is fine, but it's really not top tier quality, but it's respectable. Stolars was the number one goalie in the league for a while when the league first kicked off. So I don't doubt that they'll be able to find one. I'd be careful if you roll out both of them to try to split games, but time will tell. Craig Berube is a great head coach. I'm sure he'll know what to do. I mean, he's won a Stanley Cup with the Blues just not 7 years ago, something like that. So I think the question for Toronto is that we know William Nylander is going to show up for the playoffs, because he does every year. He's their best playoff performer. And Matthews does, for the most part, not quite up to his regular season, but he still shows up. Obviously, teams try to shut him down. The question year in and year out is who else is going to show up? They got players to do it, but, I mean, we're going on with what they dubbed the core four. I think this is year 6 or so. And
this is the last year. They're getting blown up if they don't get it done this year. Yeah.
Mitch Marner, he's a big asset that has to show up, who has never shown up in the playoffs. And he's about to get paid. He's going to demand $14 million a year, like Mikko Rantanen was trying to do. So
he'll probably get the 14, though.
He very well, especially if Toronto wants to keep him and make more dumb financial decisions.
They should trade that. They should have traded that motherfucker.
Yeah. So as Eric pointed out, the Leafs ended a 19-year playoff drought by beating Tampa in the first round of 2023. And it was the first time they had gotten out of the first round since 2004. And that was Nick's favorite stat, because a team in Atlanta existed and went past the first round more recently than the Maple Leafs have gone out of the first round.
The Thrashers, baby. Shout out the Thrashers. R.I.P. 2006.
Yeah. So real quick, I'll give you a pick here real quick, Jermaine. But here's some weird black magic stats for those of you who listen to other podcasts. It goes by the name Hockey Illuminati. He's a Toronto super fan. So I'm going to just rattle off. Looks like there's 4 of them real quick. So where to go? Right there. Okay, so the last time that both Detroit and Boston missed the playoffs, Toronto won the cup back in 1967. The first goal of this year was made by number 67. Craig Berube's nickname is the Chief. The last time Toronto had a person nicknamed the Chief was their captain, George Armstrong, in 1967. The last time Toronto had goalies ranked number 1 and number 5 in save percentage in the same year, 1967. And to close it all out, Trudeau Sr. took office in 1968, which began the curse of not winning the cup. And Justin Trudeau just stepped down in 2004. So now the curse loop has been broken, if you believe in some black magic stats for the Maple Leafs.
We should call that the Fidel Castro curse.
Give me the Senators in 6.
Give me the Maple Leafs at 6. I'm riding with the Illuminati Dave or whatever his name was. Shout out those fire stats, bro. I'm in it for the conspiracy. Maple Leafs winning it all this year.
All right. So real quick before we jump over to the west side of this bracket, for the quarterfinal, you guys both have Carolina and Washington. Nevada, you have Tampa and Ottawa. JC, you have Tampa and Toronto. Who do you guys got in the semifinal between Carolina and Washington? Who's going to win that?
Carolina.
Nevada says Carolina.
Carolina, Washington.
That's the quarterfinal round. Yeah,
I'll go Washington.
You got Washington.
I'll go Washington.
All right, and then so you have Jermaine, Tampa or Toronto playing against Washington.
Bro, Toronto. This is it. This is the year.
All right,
we believe. We ride.
Nevada, you got Carolina versus Tampa. Tampa or Ottawa.
Tampa. If
And
if Toronto runs into Tampa, they're gonna shit their pants.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
And then
I'm just riding because I'm riding. Nevada.
Yep. I agree.
Nevada, Carolina versus Tampa.
Oh God. Tampa.
Jermaine.
This is why I picked the Maple Leafs, Nevada, because I also think the Lightning could win it all this year. Might put some pizza money on it. I'm going with the Leafs over Caps.
The Maple Leafs. All right. So you have the Toronto Maple Leafs representing the Eastern Conference, and Nevada has the Tampa Bay Lightning. And now we can shimmy on over to the west side.
All right, start from the top this time, Nevada.
From the that bracket that I sent.
That bracket, yeah. Knights versus Wild.
Knights versus the Wild. Where are we at here? Knights, Wild. All right. This one, don't look now, Wild fan, but Vegas is 3-0 against the series this year. 12 goals forwarded, as Eric would say, and 4 goals against. So much like the Ottawa-Toronto series, kind of a lopsided series. For Vegas, I think Vegas was one of those under the radar teams, and they won the division. Like they had injuries, surprise, this year, but they're getting back some players that fill big roles. Most notably, William Karlsson. They've had solid goaltending from all their goaltenders, but particularly their number one, Aiden Hill, putting up a 247 goals against, 906 save percentage. And they can lean on him. Mark Stone is still there somehow, and somehow he wasn't on long-term injured reserve, but I digress. So Vegas is solid. They got the pieces in play. They could be a dangerous team. As far as the Wild, they've had a pretty decent year despite having a bunch of injuries, a lot of in and out injuries. Most notably from Kirill Kaprizov, who is out, in and out. So that hurt them. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't be in a wild card spot. They might have won one of the 3 spots in the Central. They signed Zeev Buium, who was the DU defenseman. They have officially signed him, so it remains to be seen what kind of impact he has as an offensive defenseman, much like the Hurricanes defenseman. How much time do they give him? How much offensive time do they give him? Remains to be seen. And Philip Gustafsson, their goaltender, has had another good year. 257 goals against, 914 save percentage for a team, like I said, that has had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup. So this could be a game where they're going to have to lean, or a series they're going to have to lean a little bit more on Gustafsson. But for me, Vegas has too much firepower. I got Vegas in 5.
Okay. Jermaine?
Yeah, I just didn't like what I saw from the Mild this year.
There you go.
It wasn't very inspiring, and this is the perennial playoff contender, gonna make noise, gonna F the salary cap and get their team to where it needs to go. So I don't think this will be a very competitive series. I'll take the Knights in gentleman's sweep. Actually, Nevada says the same thing. I'll take what Nevada put. Cuatro a uno.
Bueno. Let's see. We got Oilers King next, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
no.
Yeah.
Like I said, Oilers Kings 4th year in a row that they've played in the first round. For those of you who like weird stats and mystery stuff, the Oilers obviously have won every single round. First year, 7 games. Second year, 6 games. Last year, 5 games. 4 games this year. LA leads the series 2-1-1. Most notably, the Kings are 2-0 at home. We'll get to their stats real quick in a minute. Edmonton, I mean, you got the same duo. You got McJesus and you got Leon Draisaitl. 2 top 5 players on the team, which the Avs would love to have 2 top 5 players on their team, right, Jermaine?
Yes, facts.
So you know that they're going to drive the team offensively. You saw it probably last year in the Cup final. They live and die with McDavid and Leon. If they don't go, the team don't go. Simple as that. Easier said than done stopping them, though. They are very lethal, and they're very good at it. The big issue that the Oilers have, at least going into the first round, is that their shutdown D-man, probably their best D-man, well, I guess the argument could be made, but at least shutdown defenseman, Matthias Ekholm is he's out probably for the first round. Possible he could be done for the year. So that's a big issue because he was someone that could match up with the other team's first line or whoever it was, the other offensive threat, and really kind of stifle them. Their next best defenseman, Evan Bouchard, can at times, but sometimes he gets exposed and it gets exposed badly. That's not something you want to do as the Oilers because the Kings are really, really good depth-wise. Unfortunately, kind of like last year, they got a lot of depth. They're kind of like the Hurricanes. They don't necessarily have that true superstar where, household name, but they do have a few guys up top who are very good. Anze Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. But, obviously, like I said, probably names that you don't know, but they're both very good. As far as the Kings go, they are one of the best. I have to double check. They might be the best at home. They posted a 31-5-4 record at home, and they have home field advantage, home ice advantage for this series. Darcy Kemper won the Cup with the Avs. He was in Washington last year, kind of got relegated to a backup role, and then they shipped him over to LA this year. I'll give you his bad stats first. Mind you, these are his bad stats first. On the road, he was 10-8-5, 245 goals against, and a 907 save percentage on the road. At home, he is 23-2, a 167 goals against, and a 935 save percentage at home.
It's a completely different player.
Like winning record, okay numbers on the road, absolutely lights out at home. Eric's putting in here, Carolina had pretty similar home record, 31-9-1. So record-wise, they're pretty much identical, but those goalie stats, those goalie splits between home and away for Kemper are striking, to say the least. That being said, he has to go up against Leon and Draisaitl.
Yeah, let's see you do that. He's done it before, though, right?
Yeah, he did it.
For you guys.
Well, half the series for the for the Western Conference Finals, because Francois had to go in there because someone tried to. I think it was Evander Kane tried to cut Kemper's eye out in that play. It was a freak accident, but nonetheless, this I feel like this series could either go the Kings route in 6 games, or it could go like the Edmonton route in 5 games because, McJesus and Leon just catch fire and they get 3-4 points a game. I really don't know which way to go on this one.
If the Oilers can grab game 1 based on that home road split, that would put the Kings in a real nasty spot. Look, needless to say, I think the Kings right now feel like the Dallas Stars from like 2021. Just had a bunch of good players and nobody really knew who they were yet. And then they go in and have some deep playoff success. They put up numbers, they show, and then they have that staying power. So the Kings are kind of on that same trajectory. I'm betting with the star power.
That's fair.
Leon Draisaitl is healthy. Connor McDavid's healthy. They're headed into it. It sucks that Matthias is out, but
Eric, do you have the odds pulled up for this series?
No, but I can get that real quick. Give me 1 sec.
But yeah, I'll take Oilers in 7.
Outside of the Florida series and probably the Colorado series, this might be the closest betting wise.
So Edmonton is -135. LA is +115. The only series that's closer is one to be talked about here down the line in a couple minutes.
Yeah,
you know which one it is, Nevada. You know which one it is.
Per that Google in full, the EPE.
Nevada
records. Oh, sorry.
Did you give us your pick? I know he picked Edmonton. Who did you pick, Nevada?
With what you said for the betting lines, I'll go with the Kings. If they're going to be at plus money with home field advantage like that, if they can use their depth to their advantage and stifle McDavid and Draisaitl as much as possible, then I'll take the Kings.
I thought they were -135.
He said Oilers were 135.
Oilers are -135. Kings are +115.
Oilers are the favorites. Oh yeah, I mean that's a smart bet to take that.
And the Kings are at home. Okay.
Correct.
The seating is fucking crazy. Can you explain that real quick? Take 1 second to explain that. Do all the Central teams, all the Pacific playoff teams play each other, and then the Wild? How does it work? Like, how does the seating work?
Yeah, it's kind of jacked up. So each division, you get the top 3 teams get an automatic spot. 1, 2, 3. 2 and 3 play against each other. Whoever wins the divisions, those respective division winners play the 2 wild card teams. So it could be all Central versus all Central, or it could be a Central versus Pacific. Pacific. This year it looks like it's going to be all Central as far as wild cards. So, it's a little janky, but Bettman doesn't want to change it.
It gives us rivalries. He is right about that.
That's the argument, yeah. But you also get the caveat is you get Avs Stars in the first round when in reality they should be like number 3 and 4 in the league and wouldn't see each other until like the conference finals. So,
yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely. But you know how many times we didn't get Kobe versus LeBron? Like we never got that. So it's like, all right, I kind of get it, but also like, to me, it's just like we gotta get rid of conferences. I'm just trying to see the best play each other. Like if I get Austin Matthews versus Connor McDavid in round 2, I ain't gonna be upset. That's just what I want to watch. I don't want to hope they make the Stanley Cup Finals. That's like the snowball's chance in hell.
Sure, no,
that's how I feel about the NBA too. I want to see LeBron versus KD as much as possible. I mean, now they're in the same conference, but
yeah, no argument here. All right, moving on. We got the Blues against the Jets. Winnipeg won that series 3-1. I had the scores looked up. It wasn't anything crazy one way or the other. It's just Winnipeg was just a better team. As far as the Jets are concerned, they do have an issue with Nikolai Ehlers, who just went out, I believe it was Sunday, some sort of lower body injury. He had to get help off the ice. He couldn't put weight on one of his legs or very little weight. So obviously hockey players love to play through injuries no matter what it is. He could come back for the first round, but I wouldn't expect it. But he's a good depth forward for them. Sucks to lose him. Obviously, the biggest question for the Jets is, can Connor Hellebuck get past the mental mind trap that was the 2024 collapse? He had a really good regular season last year, and then playoffs came, had a really good game one, and then the Avs just decided, yeah, we're just going to put up 5 or 6 on you every single night. Deal with it. So can he get over that? Like I said, goalies can be mental midgets and have a lot of issues. I think he's probably going into this season thinking, hey, I had a great year. He's going to win the Vezina as best goaltender. As far as stats, I gave you Darcy Kemper's splits for home and away. I will now do it for Connor Hellebuck because it's a little bit ridiculous. On the road, his worst numbers, he was 19-9 with a 2.38 goals against and a 9.13 save percentage. At home, he was 26-3-3 with a 165 goals against and a 936 save percentage.
165 is a preposterous number to hear.
Yeah. So those numbers, the 165, 936, that's pretty reminiscent of Vasilevsky in Game 7s. That's what you're dealing with.
Just at home.
Just at home. Yeah.
Give me the Jets sweep. Give me the Jets sweep.
Yeah, I think this is the one that's probably the most likely to sweep. As far as the Blues go, they, for a while there, it looked pretty reminiscent of their cup run where they were down in the dumps around Christmas time and then turned it around. They had to win 12 in a row to get to the point where they're at right now, which, like I said, they just need a point. I'm pretty sure it's just a point, or just have Calgary not get 2 in their last 2 games, and they'll be in. I didn't even bother looking at Calgary because they need a lot of help. Jordan Binnington, the most punchable face in the league, has shown up to his cup play form. However, as of late, it's been a little bit shaky. So, we'll see if he can turn it on in the playoffs. And then I think the X factor for the Blues, ironically, is their head coach. Jim Montgomery was arguably one of the best head coaches in hockey. He's had one of the best records in teams since he's been the head coach. For whatever reason, Boston decided to dump him, and St. Louis smartly said, we'll take your sloppy seconds. Yes, please. That being said, yeah, Blues ain't winning this series.
I mean, they're pretty hot right now, though, right?
They were for a minute there. They've had a little bit of a up and down this probably last week or so. But for the last month, they've been playing essentially playoff hockey because they have to win. They have to get the points. But
okay.
you burn yourself out trying to do that, and then you go to the playoffs where some other teams might be rested or ready, and you're like, whew, that was a tough last leg of the season. And Winnipeg comes in and says, hold our beer. We're gonna pump your eyes shut. We're gonna win 4-1, 4-1, 3-0.
7-2-1 for the St. Louis Blues in their last 10. Plus 16 differential. The only wild card team with a positive differential.
Wasn't their last 4 games have been up and down?
Let me go look at their games. So right now they're up 3-0 on Utah. They lost to the Kraken, they lost to the Oilers, they lost to the Jets. They beat the Avs, they beat the Penguins, and they beat the Red Wings. Yeah, so they dropped 3 in a row.
So outside of
before today.
Yeah, so outside of the Avs, they really haven't had a quality win as of late.
I mean, the Red Wings were still competitive early March, but I mean they did blow apart. And I know you'll never give them credit, but they did kind of shit the bed. So
yeah. So yeah, cool enough for the Blues to get in there when they were down in the dumps. I didn't have them making the playoffs. Looks like they'll probably sneak in. But I mean, if Hellebuck is anything like he was in the regular season, just go ahead and book your Airbnbs in Cabo, get that all set up, because you ain't getting past Hellebuck if he's anywhere close to what he was in the regular season.
dude's so good. It's annoying. I thought the Jets were going to trade him. Then they signed him, and I was mad.
I know.
It was like, trade him to the Blackhawks. We need a goalie.
Looks like a good move now.
Assholes. I don't get it's good for them. Fine, whatever. Happy you made the playoffs. Happy you're good. Oh, happy. Congrats on the sweep. Should have traded him to the Hawks.
So, all right. Well, that's all the hockey playoff talk that we have. Oh, wait.
Thanks for joining us.
One last little series out west. The Colorado Avalanche are going to visit the Dallas Stars. The Stars have home ice advantage. The Avs lead the season series 2-1. Both teams that won at home. They've only had one game post-trade deadline, which you may say, so? Well, the Avs completely changed their roster at the deadline, and the Stars got Mikko Rantanen at the deadline. So it looks a little bit different now.
So you said they haven't played since post-deadline?
Only one.
Only one.
It was about a week afterwards. It was Mikko's first return to Denver.
There's damn near his first game for them. Okay.
Yeah. So for the Stars, there's some question about Miro Heiskanen, who's top 5, maybe top 3 defenseman in the league. Drafted immediately before a guy named Cale Makar. He's been out since late January with a knee injury. Some reports say he might be out for the first round. Some say he might come back game 2, game 3 for the first round. It's kind of who knows. Again, hockey players have no problem playing through broken bones and whatnot in the playoffs. He very well could be on the ice. In fact, I would probably put money on it that he will be on the ice for game 1. It's just one of those series, one of those environments. Nobody wants to miss game 1 and miss the series. So I anticipate him to be in the lineup. Remains to be seen. We still got, till Saturday, it sounds like, is when they'll play Saturday night. So, but that is a massive loss if he's not out or if he's not in there. That being said, Thomas Harley is kind of filled in for him on the back end. If you guys watch the Four Nations with Canada, he was the defenseman on Canada that was kind of like getting in guys' way and running the offense pretty well, the power play. And you're like, who is this guy? That was him.
He's a bum.
Yeah. So he has done well. He can stand in for Heiskanen. He's not Heiskanen, but he's a really good stand-in for him. He could very well be the X factor for the series. For the Stars, the Stars were number 3 in goals against at 246, but are now 17th at 313. But they are number 1 since Heiskanen's injury at scoring goals at a 413 goals scored. So they've got good offense. Defense has been a little bit shaky. Goaltending has kind of, I don't want to say dropped off because Ottinger was playing amazing for quite a while. But as far as their standards, there has been a bit of a drop off on the defensive zone. Peter DeBoer, I can't stand playing against him as a head coach because he was with Vegas when Vegas gave the Avs fits in the second round seemingly every year. He is a very good head coach as far as strategy and scheming up guys and lines to try to neutralize and get his team in the best position. He's very good at it. On the flip side for the Avs, they are probably as deep and as healthy as their cup run in 22. They've got a very good center group, obviously with McKinnon. Then you go down to Brock Nelson, who came over at the trade deadline. Charlie Coyle came over at the trade deadline. Jack Drury came over at the trade deadline. So they have more or less solidified their center position. Like we mentioned in the very beginning, Gabriel Landeskog is officially back with the Avs. He was able to come up since we have no more games. Salary cap no longer comes into play. So he will probably slot in again. It depends on conditioning, but probably third line, which if it's the third line of Landeskog, Charlie Coyle, who's 6'2", 6'3", 210, 220, and Ross Colton, who's just a mean little pit bull, that's a nasty forechecking bruiser kind of a line.
About to light some people up.
Yeah. For those of you who didn't pay attention to Landeskog in his AHL assignment, basically the minor leagues for the hockey, 2 games, had a goal and assist in game number 2. He played power play. He played first line. He played penalty kill. He played back-to-back games. Obviously, we're going into playoff hockey. We'll see how that holds up. But he's definitely going to be giving it a go. So I'm excited. Landy back. You get your captain back. As Jermaine said, keeps Nichushkin in check. Nick is screaming this from the rooftops as we speak. Nichushkin, keep your nose out of the snow until late June and then go nuts. Don't care. Because if you get through late June, it means we won a cup. Landeskog is that calming voice. I know a lot of people say like McKinnon should be the captain. McKinnon's a psychopath. Like he snaps on people. You've probably heard the eating diet habits where, you know, somebody eats something with sugar and supposedly like he snaps on them. That's who he is because he wants the absolute best out of everybody, including himself. Makar might possibly could be a captain, but he seems maybe a little bit more quiet. Who knows how he is in the locker room? But Landeskog is by far and away the voice of reason on and off the ice. So I know from interviews and whatnot, the team, the players are ecstatic for Landeskog to be back. They've all been rooting for him. A handful of guys went to his first game in the AHL on, I think it was Friday night up north here, just south of Fort Collins, to cheer him on. They weren't even on the road trip to go play in in SoCal. That's how much they wanted to see him play. They're like, we're not going to travel with the team. We're going to go see Landy get back on the ice for the first time. So it's a huge morale boost for the team. So I'm taking the Avs. It's going 7. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends in 6, but I don't think either of these teams are going to bow out in a Game 6 elimination game.
Yeah, Nevada's trying to sell me real hard on Landeskog. He skated AHL, you know, like he did some work. He'll do playoff hockey. He's just gonna slot right in like that game played in 2 years. You really trying to spin that tail, dude. With that being said, let me get the Stars in 4. Sweep.
Damn.
I'm just kidding. I got the Stars at 7.
Oh.
And it's only because they're Avs fans.
So to run through the West real quick, in the quarterfinal, Nevada, you have Vegas and the Kings. Who do you got winning that one?
Vegas.
All right. Jermaine, I
have Vegas, Edmonton, right?
Yeah, you have Vegas, Edmonton, yeah.
I'll take Edmonton.
All right. And then that would leave on the other side for you, Nevada, we have Winnipeg versus Colorado.
Not even a question.
All right. Just had to make sure. And then, Jermaine, you have Winnipeg versus Dallas.
Yeah, I've got Dallas.
Ugh.
Dallas. All right. Now, to represent the West in the final, Nevada, Vegas, or Colorado?
Next.
All right. And Jermaine?
I've got
Edmonton versus Dallas.
Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, a rematch of last year's Western Conference.
Mind you, you have Toronto in the final to play whoever wins. In Nevada, you had Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'll take Dallas.
So that means Jermaine has Toronto versus Dallas in the Stanley Cup, and Nevada has Tampa versus the Colorado Avalanche. Who do you guys got winning? Nevada. Are you staying? I don't even know why I'm asking. Jermaine, who do you got winning?
Yeah, me either, dude. I'm so confused each time. For those listeners who don't know, the Avalanche fan has the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup. I'll take the Toronto Maple Leafs, dude.
Wow.
And you have Toronto winning.
All right. The Black Magic.
I'm riding with Illuminati Dave. I forgot his name, but
Hockey Illuminati. Yep.
Hockey Illuminati, dude. I'm riding with my boy, dude. Black Magic for 25. They getting the dub, dude. We rocking.
Part of me kind of hopes they do it, but the vast majority of me is just waiting for them to get beat up by their little brother in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, they could very easily get bounced, but I'm riding with Illuminati Dave, dude.
I don't think Ottawa's been in the playoffs for like 15 years, and they're going to come in and win the first round. They're like, we've won one since 2004. Like, yeah, we came in, we've been gone for a minute, we came back in, we're like, yeah, we're going to take this first round.
We haven't been in since 2004. We just got our first win, though, you bums. Oh, dude, Toronto, just don't let me down, don't let me down, boys. There's a lot of good hockey teams, though. This is a real wide open race. The Lightning can win it.
Caps. I got the Caps.
Avalanche can win it. Edmonton can win it. Dallas can win it.
I think the Caps win and Ovi rides off into the sunset and we don't have to deal with him again anymore.
Okay.
So, yeah, Ottawa has not been in the playoffs since 2017.
That's not as far as you made it seem.
It's a lifetime ago, dude.
What?
But
in sports, that's a rough, 8 years?
It's not even 10 years.
However, when they get to the playoffs, they seem to lose fairly quickly. And the last time they made anything significant, they lost the Stanley Cup in 2007.
That's better than Toronto has done.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a Stanley Cup appearance.
Hey, Toronto has lost the same amount of Stanley Cups, bro. It's Ottawa.
They've won the same amount as well.
Do they really?
Oh no, not overall. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, in that frame, yes, they've won the same amount as well. Yeah, exactly. You guys got anything else for the 10 to 10s?
No, sir.
Thank you, Landy, for coming back and bringing the team a jolt of energy.
He's up to playoff hockey speed, too. You heard it here first. About as the Inside Baseball. Follow us on Instagram, X, and YouTube at Podcast Room303. Follow our sister pod on all things social, wherever you get wherever you listen to your podcast. For myself, Jermaine Colomendes. For my co-host, Nicholas. Oh, I almost said his name.
Oh, you almost dead named him.
Oh, he's dead. We don't speak of that guy. And the executive producers, the EP, and Nutty Putty. We'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.